What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we gonna talk about the 11 games that the Detroit Pistons have played with Blake Griffin and how he has played so far. Um, this is a little bit crazy considering that when he got to Detroit, they went on a 5-game winning streak, I believe, and everybody was saying they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a great team. Nobody going to be able to stop him and Drummond. They're a tough team to match up against. If you like DeAndre and Blake, you're going to like Andre Drummond and Blake better. Like I told you guys, the biggest thing I see about Blake Griffin is that he's not as aggressive as he used to be. He settles for a lot more threes now, which he never had a three ball in this game. Now he's literally settling. The defense has been willing to give him the 3-point shot because they know he's not a threat from the 3-point line. Can he hit a three? Yes. But he's not a Kyle Korver. He's not a Klay Thompson. He's not a Steph Curry, which means he's not deadly from three. He has improved his 3-point shot. He has worked on it, and he has gotten better at it, but it's just still not consistent enough to where you feel like he's going to beat you with the three ball. Of course, he had some games this year with the Clippers where he even hit a game winner from three. He got hot from three. He was shooting respectable from the field from three. Matter of fact, when he was with the Clippers, he was shooting 34%, which is a major improvement considering that he was shooting 5.7 threes a game when he was with the Clippers, and he was making them at a 34% clip, which is good for a guy like Blake Griffin who showed improvement. Now, since he's been shooting them with the Pistons, he hasn't had the same luck, shooting 27% from three. Also, his field goal percentage has been going down. He's not as explosive as he used to be. He's not as aggressive. He settles more for the mid-range jumpers. He's not even aggressive in the pick and roll. When he sets screens, it's like he wants to shoot the jumper. When he sets screens, it's like he wants to roll to the three-point line and take a bunch of threes, even if it's a better option of him getting into the basket. He doesn't cut to the basket as much. He very rarely posts up sometimes. Now, he used to post up a lot and stay close to the basket. You got to think about it. When Blake Griffin first came into the league, he was known for what? In the paint dunking. Obviously, he tore up his knee for that, but he was known for getting in the paint and flying over all the defenders, getting to the paint and knocking down a bunch of free throws. He doesn't do that no more. When he came in the league, he averaged 8.5 free throw attempts a game. His next season, he averaged 7. The next season, he averaged 5. And then the next season, he averaged 8. Then he averaged 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. If you averaging 7 to 8 free throws a game, that means either you was just too athletic, they couldn't guard you, or they had to foul you because they couldn't stop you from getting to the paint. Would make sense because Blake Griffin was one of the most athletic power forwards we have seen ever, and he was fearless. He didn't mind just running to the paint, throwing his body in the way. He didn't mind just running to the paint, trying to dunk over anybody. Obviously, that has caught up to him now because he has had a lot of knee problems, and that slows you down. Your lateralness, your quickness, your burst, your athleticism goes down when you're jumping because you're jumping on both knees. And that has declined him a lot. Blake Griffin does not even seem like the same player that he was when he was with the Clippers. And you got to give credit. They always say, Chris Paul, him and Blake Griffin bumps heads. They don't see eye to eye. They're one of the best teams in the NBA. If they can put it together, they have a chance to win a championship. They added Jamal Crawford and Austin Rivers. They have remember it was a point in a time when the Los Angeles Clippers had one of the best benches in the NBA with Eric Bledsoe and those guys, and they lost that. And then they became so heavy on their starters before Blake and Chris Paul left, and Chris Paul and Blake Griffin just couldn't stay healthy, and that hurted them from being a serious contender. Not only did they flop in a lot of big series and a lot of big moments, they also have been injured majority of their time together, which hurt the duo and hurt their chances as a champion contender. But one thing I will say, they don't have the guard to make their job easier. A lot of people say Reggie Jackson is overrated. A lot of people say Ish Smith is better. A lot of people say they need to get rid of Reggie Jackson. He was on a trading block. This is not what the Pistons said. This is what the media said. They said that Reggie Jackson's on a trading block. They're trying to get rid of him. They traded for Reggie Jackson a couple years ago. He actually was a missing piece because they needed somebody that can create their own shot and make the job for Drummond easier. Remember, Josh Smith was supposed to be that guy, but Josh Smith and Greg Monroe just couldn't fit together. But they had blew it up, and Drummond was able to excel at just being a hard screener and rolling to the basket, getting offensive rebounds, getting putbacks. Reggie Jackson came there and simplified his game. And what I mean by that, he was able to do what he's best at doing more consistently, and it was a lot easier for him to do it because Reggie Jackson can score in one-on-one situations, and it took pressure off him because Andre Drummond can't really create shots on his own, and Reggie Jackson can, making it easier for him to roll to the basket and be a threat. You can tell the difference. The seasons that Reggie Jackson missed a lot of minutes, a lot of time, Andre Drummond has not shot over 60%. He's been shooting around 50%. He's never been a dominant finisher besides dunking the basketball, but when Reggie Jackson had him in the pick and roll, he was shooting high numbers from the field because he was getting lobs, dunks, and drop offs from Reggie and other teammates around him because Reggie opened up the game. People don't know how important it is to have a great point guard. Is I'm saying that Reggie Jackson is an elite point guard? Is I'm saying he's one of the best point guards in the game? No. But he's a point guard that's aggressive. When he gets the ball, he's looking to get to the basket. He can get to the free throw line. He can knock down clutch buckets, which he already did this season. He's a decent player in the pick and roll because when you set the screen, he's not scared to take that mid-range jumper. He's not scared to throw the lob. He's not scared to kick it out to Johnson and the shooters. And it will help Blake Griffin because he will be able to play off the ball more, something that we've seen with him and Chris Paul, where Blake Griffin is always going to be open around that perimeter. And even if Reggie Jackson do get to the basket, he can always kick it out to Blake Griffin or dump it off to Blake Griffin, who can then dump it off or lob it up to Andre Drummond, which makes Drummond's job easier. And it takes the ball out of Blake Griffin's hands. Yes, Blake Griffin is averaging 5 assists a game, which is a remarkable for a player. That's a power forward, but he has been doing that anyway throughout his whole career. But he hasn't been able to hold on to the ball as much. He averaging 3 turnovers a game. But Reggie will make his job easier because he doesn't have to worry about doing all the dribbling, trying to create every shot because Reggie Jackson will be there to handle the ball and create shots and make it easier for Drummond and Blake Griffin. So it's hard to judge this Detroit team because they're not fully healthy. It's hard to judge the Detroit team because they haven't been able to have their whole roster intact. Every time Reggie Jackson missed significant time, you see Andre Drummond field goal percentage go down, and the job is harder because everybody's focusing on him. Now it got to the point where Blake Griffin has to space out the floor because if he doesn't, nobody respects Andre Drummond going to the paint because all they got to do is go wall off Blake Griffin from getting to the basket, and that means he's going to be at the mid-range area, he's going to be at the three-point area, and if he's at those areas, I don't care because he's never been a knockdown shooter ever in his career, even when he had Chris Paul, and I live with Blake Griffin taking 15-foot jump shots. I live with Blake Griffin shooting threes, and that's what's been going on. His jump shot hasn't been falling, his three-point shot haven't been falling, and they have been easier to guard. Now, if they had somebody that can take attention off Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, it'd make their job a lot easier because then they'd be playing within the offense instead of trying to always create shots that may not be there, forcing up bad shots. And, they have to take harder shots because now the defense is focused on them. The defense is game planning against them, which means they're going against double teams and traps, and neither one of them can really shoot. to really bust that zone open or bust those walls open, you're gonna need somebody that can be able to shoot. And neither one of them are not. I mean, neither one of them are known as shooters. So let me know what you guys think about the Detroit Pistons. Do you think they should have made this trade? Do you think people are overreacting just like when they won 5 or 6 in a row? Everybody said it's going to work. They're going to be in the playoffs. Now that they're losing, everybody's saying that it ain't going to work. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a bust. They lived in the moment when they was winning right away. Obviously, everybody jumped to the conclusion that they're a great team. They're dominant. They're going to be fine. And then as soon as they start losing, everybody's saying now, like I seen on TV yesterday, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to be good, and they're going to be a team that's not going to make the playoffs, which they said the opposite thing basically 3 weeks ago when they first got the trade. And that's what I was saying about Bradley Beal and John Wall. It's ironic that when John Wall goes down and they go on a win streak, now all of a sudden they're better than John Wall. But if they start losing, then all of a sudden they gonna say they need John Wall to be competitive. It's kind of like an imbalance of people thinking. 1 minute you don't need Kevin Love. Now the reason why LeBron is losing is because Kevin Love is injured. So is Kevin Love the problem or is Kevin Love the solution? You can't say Kevin Love is not playing up to par. He's not playing good enough, and then when he gets injured, it's because Kevin Love ain't healthy. Is it because he's injured, or is it because he's trash, or is it because he's an all-star? They like to throw around all these ideas that have no substance. Like John Wall comes back and they win 10 in a row. See, I thought they was better without John Wall, but now they won 10 in a row. Now, now all of a sudden everybody gonna jump back on the bandwagon and say they needed John Wall and they're a contender. But now since they're winning without John Wall, it's a thinking that now they don't need him. They played better, they played different, but that's what they're supposed to do because you got to adjust to what team you have. Whether somebody got traded or whoever got injured, you have to play with the team you have on the court, and winning is the whole goal in the NBA. Check out my website, NoxusPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page at NoxusPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm gone, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.